Usually I barely cover Granblue lists in V. I rather just focus on Night Rose Summer or just play 7 Cs, but once in a while I just, kind of want to try something else. Today we have Pinot Noir in V. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. Today we are playing Pinot Noir in V. Yeah, it almost sounds like I'm drunk on, wine, which is what this entire deck's naming theme is based off. But yeah, mostly this is just a pretty fun Granblue deck for people that have a lot of Granblue generics but don't want to play Night Rose or Beatrice because Night Rose is not really a good deck and Beatrice is kind of overrated / illegal. And Pinot Noir is actually a really interesting deck. It focuses on a lot of milling based on triggers, so yeah, I figured I would just finally cover it in a V deck profile, even though I've never actually covered him before on the channel. I've never really had the time slot or the chance or the desire to do so, but today, since I happen to have the chance to do so, I figured might as well. So let's get straight into the grade trees. Our grade trees, we play 4 copies of Pinot Noir, we play 2 copies of Skull Dragon, and then we play a Beatrice. As you can tell, this is a very solved and standard tried and true kind of strategy, but this list is really interesting in terms of the ratios, so I hope you stick around for that. Let's talk about the main card and the win con, which is Pinot Noir. During your turn, all your front row units gain 5 for every 3 trigger units in your drop. Now, unlike the Night Rose Pirate Brigade, the Bell's Blood Pirate Brigade is very different. They focus on triggers in the drop zone for V. Maybe because this was because they were a Legion based deck last time, I don't really know, but this is a very interesting way to do it. So basically for every 3 trigger units you drop, your front row gains 5, and that's a passive effect you get during your turn, so it scales pretty well. When your Pirate Bell Pinot Blanc is placed on the graveyard during your turn, so blast 1, discard the top 2 cards of your deck and activate all the trigger effects of the discarded cards. So basically, when you get to call his girlfriend at any point in time, you straight up get to Soul Blast 1, drop the top 2 cards of your deck, and you get any trigger effects, which is basically just drive plus 2 doing, another turn, which is very, very interesting and really good. But I'll talk about her later on. But yeah, it is very, very interesting of a deck, to be honest, and you will see why later on. But as you notice, Pinot Noir, does not multi-attack. At least looking at this, is just 2 additional cards for drive checks per se and power gaining. So how do we actually win with this deck? Well, we still have our good old Skull Dragon. I'm not really going to explain Skull Dragon. It's just a really fat beat stick, 2k for every card in drop, can't be called normally, yada yada yada. And then there's Beatrice. Beatrice is still the extender of all time. When placed on the regular circle, so plus 1, call 1 card for a drop zone that is not Beatrice to a regular circle. The other effects are not necessary because this is not a Beatrice deck. Our grade 2s are where the spice starts to start. We have 1 copy of Dolph the Ghosty. We have 3 copies of Colombard, which is a shocker, I know, because you may be like, but why don't we play 4? But you will see why later, because this deck does not have much space, but it is still gonna play 3 Colombard, because Colombard is still really good. We play 3 copies of Greed Shape, actually. We play 1 copy of this one. This is Stormride Ghost Ship. And then we play 4 copies of Pinot Blanc. And then 4 copies of our Rifix promo, which is going to be Riveting Franche. Because there is no such thing as an Armen 004 V deck profile if there is no Rifix promo. So I've already covered the Rifix promo. It's really good. It's like G Colombard. It fixes your drop zone. It searches all your grade 2 or less, including the girlfriend. But I've already covered this in my V Night Rose deck profile, so please check that out in the links in the description. I will link it right below. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for this card. I don't want to talk too much about it. It's basically a 4 for this deck. It's really good. Now that we've gotten that compulsory part out of the way, let's finally talk about the rest of the list. A lot of these also come from my V Night Rose deck profile, but I'll still cover them quickly while I can. Stormride Ghost Ship cannot be called normally, yada yada yada. When it attacks, plus 15,000 power, and then battle attacks, retire, draw. Okay, really good. Greed Shade, this one's in triple rare foiling, the one I normally plays in rare foiling. Greed Shade, when Vanguard regular circle, if 10 more cards you drop, plus 5,000 power. When placed, discard 1, look at the top 2, mill it, and then choose 1 card for drop, add to the hand. So it's really good to fix drop from your hand, and you can put certain cards you don't want in your hand into your drop zone. I don't need to explain Greed Shade, it's just that good. But we only play 3 because you usually only play 2 to 3 Greed Shade per Granblue deck. You never play 4. Colombard surprisingly is at 3 because we do have other options for the grade 2 and grade 1 slot. Colombard is still the same card when placed. If you're on VOR, count plus 1, so you should have 1 card, put in a drop good zone, shuffle your deck, call the 1 card for a drop zone to regular circle, harvest button. Again, because V V Granblue is very easily CB denied by slightly more intelligent monkeys. We only play 3 because, you know, why lock yourself into a gameplay route that's so common to be denied? I mean, why would you do that? But if you're worried about being CB denied, you also don't the Ghosty. This list does have a bit more counter charge because we do actually play more counterblast options like Pinot Blanc. But Dolph the Ghosty is still pretty cool itself. You can retire 2 of your regards not named Jesse. Sorry, this is not Dolph, this is Jesse. Jesse the Ghosty. Retire 2 regards not named Jesse the Ghosty. Call this card to regard circle. It's a hard one with skill. And then when he attacks against 5,000 power and in a battle, retire it. If you don't counter charge, you get the counter charge. Nice, not bad. And now let's get into Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc is the girlfriend of Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. So let's cover her skills. When your young pirate noble Pinot Noir on Vanguard Circle attacks. Yup, I've been lying to all of you. There is a multi-attack. It's this girl. So when your Pinot Noir attacks Pinot Blanc, counterblast 1, retires 1 of your Vanguard Circle, draw a card, and then you call this to a front row Vanguard Circle. Yeah, so it's illusion. Haha, wonderful. So that's basically how you multi-attack. You need to make sure you get your Pinot Blancs into the job. So make sure you find ways to do so, okay? You can also retire copies of herself if she's on the board, so it's fine. Yeah, it's pretty nice. This unit cannot be attacked. This unit gains 5,000 shield for every 3 trigger units in the job. So she can't be attacked, which means, you know, you basically tell the Dragonic Kaiser of Vermilion to shut the fuck up. But other than that, though, it's a pretty beefy intercept. She's pretty big and pretty thick to protect her boyfriend. And not only that, she also can, you know, you can intercept her away, and then when Pinot Noir attacks, you can just combat Pinot Blanc. Yeah, that's pretty much how the deck works. It's pretty nice. But that does mean that you do need her in the drop zone, and you do need a constant stream of counterblast. So do keep that in mind. The other sad part is that Pinot Noir, when he does do his drive plus 2-ish, you can't really give it to Pinot Blanc because Pinot Blanc is not even on the board. So yeah, a little bit rough, but still a pretty fun strategy. Still, it's definitely better than Necrobolt and Cocytus. This is definitely one of the top 3 Granblue V decks, so don't worry. Moving on to our grade 1s. Our grade 1s, we play 3 copies of Seasonic Banshee, 3 copies of Necrobolt, 4 copies of Dancing Catalyst. So yeah, these are all again repeated cards we've already covered, so this is gonna be really easy to cover. Cutlass, bind 1 other Cutlass from a drop and discard the top card of the deck, cause regular circle, counter charge 1. Necrobone is also still the exact same card as you already know, so yeah, it's basically you can discard a card from your hand and put this card to the bottom of your deck, call grade 1 from your drop zone to regular circle. If your drop zone is 10 more cards, you can call any grade instead. And then of course you have Seasonic Banshee. When placed on Vanguard Circle, search it for 1 card and mill it, and then at the end of battle, you attack or boosted, you can discard the top 2 cards of your deck. If you discard 1 more triggers, retire this unit, draw a card. This is like the only other direct support for Pinot Noir, so you should play it at 4. I think you should play it at 4, but I play at 3 because I don't have that much space. In the future, you can play 4 if you want. And then of course our trigger lineup, we play 2 Crit Sentinels, and then we play a total of 8 crits still. We obviously have starters, Captain Nightkid. We play 4 draw, interestingly, and then we play 4 heals at a 2-2 split. We can really take advantage of playing a wide range of triggers because this deck is very trigger reliant in the sense that we actually do mill our triggers and we can recycle our triggers with stuff like Greed Shade. So you can actually 2-box and tech out whatever you want. Milling triggers early is no concern. Guarding with triggers excessively early is also no concern because Pinot Noir does actually scale with triggers, so it's nice. Yep, and that basically wraps up my Pinot Noir and Pinot Blanc deck profile for V 2024. Again, this list has really came out of nowhere, but because my V deck profiles tend to do really well, or at least well enough because of a sustained audience, I am inclined to keep doing so at least once per month. But you know, I wanted to do this list because I thought it was interesting enough to cover a V Granblue deck profile. I know I've already covered Night Rose, I know I already covered 7 Seas, but I thought why not cover another deck that I've usually never covered, because this core for V Granblue is still pretty strong and it's another interesting option you can play. I mean, it's a matter of fact, you can still play this deck. It is different from Night Rose, it is different from Beatrice, but it's still functionally similar enough that you have quite a lot of the same cards and frankly the same amount of decision making that you can play, but with some differences. And I found it really interesting enough that I wanted to show it off. If you felt that this list was interesting enough and worth your time, I do recommend you play it. I do recommend you give it a shot. As usual, I'm still going to be committed to trying to do at least one V deck profile once per month, because these videos generally do quite well. But you know, if these videos continue to do well, I may just do more V deck profiles, especially for the periods of time where we're in a bit of a remission. Then I don't mind just putting out a few more for the ones that I've tested and have tried. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.